back to doing podcasts. Hopefully, by next week, I'll be back to being on camera, doing on camera live streams. Um, I really was trying my best to do catch up with some of my watch time. Actually, my arrow is up. Yeah, all the way up where the we're not losing watch time anymore, but I'm still going to continue to do my live streams, my loop and chats as I call them. So, we have a conversation today. We're going to be talking about why are people so angry nowadays? Do you guys have an answer to that question? Why do you believe that people are angry? Do you have a response to that? I believe that people are so angry nowadays because there's so much problems going on in the world. People have so many things that they're facing. The first thing that I want to say, my opinion, and of course it's my opinion only, you can take it or leave it, but I believe that people are angry because so many people are under so much stress. Things are expensive, and especially during this time of the year, people are under pressure to buy gifts. So much other people are under pressure because they feel sad or lonely or they have some health problems. It's so many reasons why people can be angry. And I know, speaking from a person that used to be angry all the time, I was angry because I had a lot of unresolved issues. Hey, Realist, how are you doing? Happy Monday. Um, I know that I was angry a lot because I had a lot of unresolved issues. And coming from where I came from, having a, a, a a family dynamic where people didn't have conversations, it was like there was the expectation that you should know how people feel just because you know them. There's not going to be any conversations. There will be no affection because all of that is like, that's weird, that's strange. And I think that's one of my main reasons why I was angry, just being honest with myself and being honest with you all as my gems, that I know for sure I was angry because my life wasn't what I wanted it to be. And when situations happen to you in your life and you don't know how to deal with it, that caused me to be very angry. And also, you're frustrated because you want to talk about things, but if you talk about it, the people who are the problem in the situation, they're not willing to change. They're not willing to be accountable, take ownership for their actions. Actually, what they're going to do is project it right back onto you. Oh, why are you bringing this up? And then they want to start things with you and get very messy. And I know for sure that was the main reason why I was angry for so many years, because if you have problems, that it's not you making the problem, it's other people making the problem because of their immaturity, their lack of communication, not handling their money properly. Just some people that we know of just have mental issues. They're not mentally stable and they need to be on medication. And I've talked about this many times on my various channels, that there are so many people who are mentally ill, but they're not diagnosed. So, those undiagnosed mentally ill, those who are not functioning well in their life, and on top of that, they're poor communicators and they're angry with you because you can't read their mind. And I know that that used to bring me a lot of stress. And I had to learn to remove myself from those situations. I had to learn I had to learn how to speak up for myself. I had to learn that even though I was raised to not communicate, that is not natural. That is not being mature. And if I have something that I need to say, regardless of, if somebody's going to be upset or not. Communication is the key to all healthy relationships. And I know for myself that I had to get myself healthy. Even if you come from an unhealthy environment and situations and so much things going on in your life, because we all have things that's going on in our lives. We all do. We all got problems. We all have issues. We all have things that really stress us out. But when it gets to the point where you start to become an angry person, you come outside of your character or who you want to be because of situation, circumstance, trauma, etc., right? But at the end of it, we're adults, you know? That's one thing that a lot of people don't like to talk about, that yeah, things happen. Yeah, things can be messed up, but what are you doing as an adult to shift that? To shift your life, shift your mindset, your attitude, and your behaviors. So for myself, because I said I'm not just saying I'm grown and people have to pivot to me and shift to what I want them to be. I had to be accountable for myself. Like, yeah, my attitude really stinks. I don't communicate well. I ghost people. I had to own all of that, own your own mess. And it was one of the reasons why I put myself in therapy for years to help me, because I didn't know how to communicate. My main thing is, when I would get upset about something, my first line of defense is a protective mechanism, that I wasn't going to say anything. I just shut down. I would keep things to myself. And then at the same time, I would be upset with people because they didn't meet my expectation. It's something very, very strange and weird, that I know that I'm not the only person that has been through that in their childhood to adulthood, not having the best environment, the best circumstance, but then as an adult, you're expected to be a certain way, but you don't know how to be that. So I'm woman enough to say that I know I needed to heal. I know I needed to put some work into myself and learn, how do you communicate properly? How do you take ownership for yourself? How do you not be selfish and make everything about you? Those are the things that I wanted to learn, because I wanted healthy relationships. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to have peace in my life, but I also didn't want to be a person that other people didn't want to be. I didn't want to be that person that nobody wanted to be around me because of my behavior or my habits or being controlling or jealous or whatever it is that I was being at that time. And I think that so many adults don't get to the space of being honest enough and being accountable enough to say this, and this. How many things you have on your list that are cons in your life, things that have been messed up when you've been dealt wrong deck of cards, right? You didn't get the best situation or circumstance. You weren't set up for certain things. Certain resources weren't available for you. Maybe you weren't taught to communicate properly, or people around you did not communicate. So we become like what we're around. You become a product of your environment, whether you want to do it or not. But it takes maturity, wisdom, and courage to be able to change it. It does, because no capping. For me, when I first started off, like, it was so difficult. It was like pulling teeth, saying, like, telling people, okay, everything, being transparent and saying, okay, I'll be there at this time, or if I'm running late, to inform people. But those are the things that I had to learn. Those are habits that I had to learn, that you expect certain things, but I didn't want to be that person that would be like, I expect for you to be my friend, but I'm not your friend. It's wanting what you are not going to provide. And I didn't want to be that woman. And I said the same thing for to my male gems too. Don't be that man either. You have to what the things that you want and desire, the way you want to be treated, you also have to be in the position to say, am I a gem? Am I a jewel in people's life? Do people like to be in my company, or am I irritating? Am I immature? Am I controlling and jealous and possessive? This is the conversation for my mature gems. I'm not talking about the immature ones, the ones who lie to themselves and, you want to coddle your ego. I went through all of that. I'm not in that space anymore, but I know what that feels like, that you are used to being a certain way because of what you've seen. And it takes some healing. It takes honesty. It takes wisdom, and you have to be in the space where you want to change. And that is a part of accountability and being an adult, and not just being grown, but being mature enough to say, I got to step up my game. Like, this is not good. Like, why am I not giving what I expect? I didn't want to be the double standard. And I know that I'm not the only one. We all have things that we grow up with, and we see, by example, that's toxic. It's dysfunctional. It's immature. It's not reasonable. It's not something that should be sustainable, but yet that's what you fall back on. That's what you navigate towards because that's your comfort zone. I have to tell you guys that I had to step outside of my comfort zone and to say, Marlene, this is not okay. You can't expect for people to be your friend, to show up, to communicate, to be kind, to be all of these things if you are not doing that yourself. So, one thing that I will say to all of my gems is that we also have to learn how to be our own friend. And that takes work. It takes a lot of healing. It really does. For you to say, time for me to show up for myself. And it does not make me selfish. It means that I love myself. And based on where you're coming from, are you new to this? Are you just learning how to set boundaries? Or have you been doing that for some time? It depends on where you are in the journey of your life. But it's never too late. It's never too late for us to say, I'm going to grow up. I'm going to be a better woman or a better man than maybe my parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whoever raised you. I'm going to be better than they were. And not like on some egotistical trip, like, oh, I'm better than my parents or whoever raised me. No, because I'm healed. And because I have expectations to be a better version of myself. You see, that's wisdom. That's healing. That's personal growth and development. And I would say over 50% of the population is they expect things, they complain about things, but they're not woman or man enough to make changes within themselves. And I have to tell you, I flip-flopped a lot being in therapy, like, okay, oh yeah, I'm going to do better. And then I would go back to what's comfortable. It's a part of life. It takes, what did they say? It takes 90 days for something to become a habit. So you're going to, you have to stay consistent, get out that comfort zone. And I had to start writing things down for myself. I will communicate when I am upset. And I also will communicate when my expectations have not been, when people have not fulfilled what I needed, what's necessary for me. Don't keep those things to yourself and complain and fussing, about things that you don't like. Communicate. and tell people, I don't know if you were aware of this, and this, but I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. So on and so forth. I would appreciate if you don't come at me that way. There's many ways for us to be able to shift our life, and you don't have to do so in an immature way, screaming or with anger, immaturity, you know, deflating people, stepping on people in order to elevate yourself. No, there's a way that's is healthy. It's a healing way so that you can communicate and also they can. That's what you do when you are mature. That is what you do when you're growing and you want to improve. We should always be seeking to improve to be better than we were yesterday, last week, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, right? Hey, Delvin, how are you doing? Welcome in. Yes, realist, good point. Yes. Um, so that's one thing that I have to say. That right there was monumental in my elevation and my progress in my life because, like I said, I'm woman enough to say I was an angry person. And it's justifiable, the reason why many of us have been angry. The way people treated you, being abandoned, disrespected, treated like garbage. People don't listen to you, value your opinion, support you, love on you, and all the things that you deserve. Yes, but you are the ones that have to say to yourself, I deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. And even if nobody else does, I will treat myself with respect and dignity. I will show up for myself. I will be accountable. I will check myself. I will see the potential inside of myself. But it takes work. It takes a lot of work. Hey, Lara, how are you doing? Delvin says, I'm cool here at work. I'm doing good, Delvin. Coming back. I'm coming back from the week that I had last week. But honestly, everybody, it takes a mature woman or a mature man to say, the way that I act, my behaviors, my, whatever, how I treat other people, it's not good. It's not okay. We all know the things that we need to work on. And this is a safe space. I'm not making fun of you or anybody else or even myself, but just talking about other people and what other people do to us, that's not sufficient. That's not enough because we can't change other people. The only one that we can change is ourselves, you know? And right, Lara, I'm not perfect and I'm working to be my best, right? Exactly. We can't expect things from other people if we don't possess it ourselves. So that was one of the things in talking about being angry. I had to ask myself, why do I allow other people to make me angry? That's powerful right there because we give our power away so often. Why are you giving your power away? Yeah, people can be very annoying, very irritating, controlling, judgmental, the full gamut, right? We know that. We know how people can be angry, controlling, miserable, manipulative, all of it. But why do you allow other people to allow you to go back and forth with them? You can choose to say nothing. You can choose to not deal with certain individuals. We have that sort of power. And that was one of the things that I had to give myself, that sort of empowerment, that I don't have to explain why I do what I do. I don't have to be around people. I don't have to do any of that. No, we don't. And you don't have to either. Don't let other people make you angry. See, therapy taught me that being angry is a choice. It really is. It's a choice. It's a choice to be angry. You also can choose to say, I'm not giving you my power. I'm not going to let you upset me because that's not worth it. You're not worth it because So many people, they want an argument from you so that they can feel better about themselves because they need a release from all the pressure, all the stress they're under, all of the things that they have pushed in the back of their closet, all of their what hidden skeletons and traumas and things that they have not dealt with. And I have to tell you that if you have never spent some time healing your inner child, your the things that people did to you, you know, just hard, tough situations and circumstances. Not that we can change what happened in our past, but giving ourselves the permission to say, and this happened to me. And that was all the way messed up. I should not have got this or this or this. But that doesn't make me a bad person. So we have to own that too. And also, we have to own when we did wrong, when we hurt people. That is a part of being mature and being wise enough to own our mess. Okay? I did wrong. I should have showed up for this person. I should have supported. I should not have disrespected. Okay? I have to learn how to control when I'm upset. I had to learn that part when I was upset. My first thing that I used to love to do was throw hands. That was Marlene all day long. I was looking for it. And if you really think about it, many people have anger issues. You're looking for something like what? Say something. I got you. I got you. You want to scrap? That used to be me all day long from the time I was a child until my early 20s. That was me because I didn't heal. I didn't have conversations. I was not at peace. And until you become at a space where you're at peace within yourself, you will continue to project all of your fear, your anger, your disrespect, abandonment, when you were stabbed in the back, all of it. That's what you're going to do. It's just the truth, realists. I was going to throw hands. But yeah, anger is a choice and you choose it. Yeah, it's up to us to hold our peace. And that was something that I wish more parental figures, aunties, uncles, grandparents would teach that to the youth. You have a choice. You have a choice to throw hands, or you have a choice to walk away. You got to have a choice to pick up your journal and write in it. You have a choice to go and, expel that negative energy, in healthy ways. Pick up a hobby or a sport, give back to the community, do things with that anger. And that's one of the reasons why I do life coaching, because I want to help people, because at the time where I needed help, I didn't have help. I didn't have support. I didn't have people to get in my head and to tell me you're better than this. You don't deserve this. You don't have to do it. You don't have to settle. So I'm saying this to you all as well. You don't have to settle. You don't have to accept less than you deserve. And if there are things that has happened to you in your life that has made you angry, it's time to face it. Stop running from the truth, the reality of the situation, that some messed up things happened to me. I'm upset because of this. And you may not know even sometimes why you're such an angry person, because in the beginning, I honestly did not know why I was angry. I blamed everybody because I didn't come to this space where I knew how to be accountable for me. It was always somebody else. Oh yeah, they're always pissing me off. Oh, they're annoying. They're this. It was always people did things to upset me, and that was my justification as the reason why I fought or told people off or did this or did that. See, just because other people may upset you, there's always a healthier way to resolve issues. You don't have to always open up your mouth. You don't, and especially there's so much people, they don't even deserve it. It's like, who are they? They're nothing to you. They add no value to your life. They will bring you no peace. Actually, you're the one that's gonna show yourself with egg on your face. You're the one that's gonna look stupid, low vibrational, immature. And I have to tell you that I've got myself in some predicaments in my life because of anger. You say things that you can't take back. You wind up getting fired from jobs. You know, you could wind up incarcerated. It's a lot of things that can happen to you because you cannot control yourself. So, controlling yourself is a superpower. You have to find ways to learn how to control I'm upset. And these days, I know when I'm upset, I know when I'm on four, anything above four, when I can feel my heart start to beat faster, it's time to enact some of my calming down measures. How I can bring peace into my life. Either I'm going to walk away, I'm going to, take a deep breath, go for a walk, and, do something, journal. But I got to do something else. But don't get me wrong. There are times, yes, you do need to speak up for yourself, but there's always a way to do things. You can put people in their place, as I call nice nasty. You can. You can tell people exactly how you feel, speak up for yourself, stand your ground, all of that in the most the nicest, nastiest way. You can tell people how they treat you, and you're not going to take it, and I'm not going to allow it, and and that's it. I'll tell people off, and at the same time tell them to be blessed. Okay? Oh, you're going to get this blessing, but at the same time you're not going to disrespect me. And I learned that you can speak up for yourself without getting yourself cased up, putting yourself in situations that if you had just learned how to be calm and have peace. And the thing about it that most adults don't understand is that other people can't give you peace. This life is not going to give you peace. That peace has to come from inside of you. You have to make that decision to be a peaceable woman or man. The peace has to be evidenced by, how you treat yourself, cutting people off, not putting yourself in predicaments, learning to stop telling too much of your business. There's a lot of reasons why we get angry. It's because maybe you were talking too much, telling your business. Maybe you were volunteering yourself for things that you should not have. But that's all of the things that you learn in your maturity, in wisdom. Okay? Am I doing too much? Am I talking too much? Am I not standing up for myself? Am I not saying no when I need to? And then the reason why you're angry is because you're drained, you're completely spent. Those are the things that we have conversations about over here. And it's maturity. It takes wisdom. You have to know yourself, and you have to know your value, okay? Before you get to the space where you get on 10 and you're going to blow your top, you know, you're going to explode just like a volcanic explosion. Before you get to 10 and you do something crazy, when you get to 4 or 5, that's the time to make a decision. Okay, it's time for me to walk away. It's time for me to, nope, or I'm not going to answer that phone. You know yourself. We each know our personalities, and you know the things that trigger you. You know the people who get on your nerves, but you have to know that I've heard people say, oh, they asked for it, so I gave it to them. Does that make it okay? No, it doesn't make it okay. But also sometimes some people, you have to, they don't understand, just no. They're going to push your buttons until you give them what they're asking for. But also at the same time, we shouldn't be known to be hot-headed and to be immature and to make bad decisions and then later on regret the decisions that we made, because you do have to own that. No, therapy taught me that for every action, there is a reaction. Of course, as an adult, yes, of course, you can always do what you want to. But remember, because you did what you want to, here's the reaction. Here's the overflow. Here's going to be the heat, the smoke that you're going to get because of what you did. And that's what I'm talking about in being angry. There's a lot of things that happen that we can extinguish. We can make that fire go out before we explode, before you go crazy. You know when you're there. You know when you're on 4 about to be 5. You know that already. You know it. You're like, you could feel your pulse going up. Okay. You can feel your face getting hot. You can feel like when you about to ball up your fist. You already know that. You already know when you're going to say something slick. You already know when you want to cuss people out. You know that already. We each know ourselves. So when you are feeling that way, you got to know when it's time to say when. Okay? All those things. Yeah. Cool down and see yourself. I know that's right, Delvin. But, there's so many adults that this may seem like, who doesn't know that you should walk away? But I'm telling you, in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking rationally. But that's when you need to remind yourself. And I always say, talk to yourself. Okay? I tell myself all the time, Marlene, it's time to walk away. Marlene, you are not going to get anywhere with this. Okay? Take your leave, walk away, take a deep breath, whatever you need to. But don't let other people have that power over you to have you outside crashing out. Let's not crash out, okay? As my sis Gwen Michelle always says, we're not crashing out. Don't crash out, everybody. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I want for us to do better than being angry. How about us being peaceful, having peace in our life, having joy, being calm, knowing our worth. And, I'm at the space in my life where I know someone is trying to get a rise out of me, and I'll just laugh and say, you're not going to win, okay? Know yourself enough to say, I see you want an argument, and I'm not going to give you one. Have a blessed day. That's where we have to be. Delvin says, yes, talk to yourself. You have to. Hey, Life with Tasharia, how are you doing? So that's the part of us that we have to know ourselves, our worth, our value enough to say, I need to walk away. Okay, I'm not going to get anywhere. This person is manipulative, especially when you're dealing with someone who has narcissistic personality, very manipulative, and don't think it's going to escape you because it's your relative. Our relatives are the individuals that do things to really get under our skin. And because they feel that they can do whatever they want to, and you have to do whatever they say. And if you don't, there's going to be an argument and they want to fight with you. But guess what? They can fight with themselves. Argue with yourself, because I'm not the one. That's how you have to treat them. When they start something and they want to argue with you or whatever, and how come and why can't you? And you just say, have a great day. And I said what I said, and it's going to be no, and it's going to be no today, tomorrow, and in an hour. So you complaining and asking why is not going to change how I feel. Okay? That's how we have to show people that I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I stand up for myself. I'm not going to let people run over me. And I had to tell you guys that learning how to set boundaries and enforcing them, that right there, that is the sauce. Yes, it's important to set boundaries, but what's more important than setting the boundaries is enforcing them, telling people no, and then when they why, and how come? Because I'm a grown woman or because I'm a grown man and I said what I said. And that's it. Don't explain yourself with grown people. It's no, and it's going to be no, and that's it. Period. Don't explain yourself. Don't let people take you to 10. You got to have control of yourself, and that takes discipline. Yeah, it does. I really had to learn that part about discipline. I had to learn that I have to know how far I want to go in life. And there's a very immature, manipulative people who are controlling, people who are not mentally stable, and they want to go there. You know, some people, they have nothing to lose. They don't care about spending their time behind bars. They don't care about if they unalive people. They don't care about those things. But we should, as mature women and men, as wise women and men, right? We're wise, we're mature, we're healed. We know our potential. We know our intellectual capacity. And some people, their elevator does not go to the top floor. Okay? You have to know that about people. Like, you are not, you're not mentally stable. And I'm not going to let you go there. I'm not going to complain and argue with you. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You will just get your blood pressure all worked up, because I've done it so many times, especially when it comes to driving and the road rage aspect. People will really set you off if you let them. So I wanted to remind all of my gems here, you have value. You're a grown, mature woman or man. Know who you are. Know what you're worth. I don't have to explain to you. And when you know better, you do better. With knowledge comes power. With power comes responsibility. Now you have to be responsible for keeping yourself calm. You have to be responsible for speaking up and communicating. No, I'm not going there with you. No, no, don't even try me. Forget about that. The answer is no. That's setting boundaries. And then enforcing them is, I already told you that it's no, and that's it, period. That is the part that will give you so much peace and serenity when you say what you say and you back it up. Don't wibble wobble. Don't go back and forth. Don't teeter totter with people, especially these immature folks in the streets and on social media or wherever you find them. Know what you want to do with your life. And life is too short, everybody. Life is too short to let other people break your peace. Life is too short for you to not be happy. Life is too short for you to be around people that you don't want to be around. And that was a really important part for me of healing and growing and maturing, because whoever they are, your relative, people that you've known for many years, some people you need to cut them off. That's probably the reason why you're so angry. They are using you, possessive, jealous, to try to take everything that you have, always putting you down, having something slick to say. you know. Remember, other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Just because they don't like what you're doing, they don't like you, what you're doing with your life, that's none of your business. What other people think about you, that's their problem. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. And when I really got that part, that other people's opinions of me, mm, like, why should I care about that? Okay, you don't like me, so what? Okay, next, on to the next thing. And when I started doing that, I really kept my peace and my joy. And I was able to think about me and what I want. And that's not selfish. That means you're healed. I think about me first. I fill up my cup. I know my value. I use my talents. I take good care of my mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health. I take care of me. If I'm not okay, everything must stop. That was the thing that I did not do years ago. I was not okay, and then I would be like, well, I got to do this. I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to take care of it. No, you don't. What you're supposed to do is stop in that moment and say, I'm sad right now. I'm pissed off right now. I'm this, and give yourself a moment to handle it. Don't let yourself be going through a whole day upset and have all these unresolved issues. You got to face your stuff. You got to own your mess. And however you need to do it. If you need to shed some tears, if you need to write a letter, if you need to, you know, go for a jog, run, do whatever, but take care of that issue and resolve it. There are some things that it's not even our problem. And that was another thing for a reason why I used to be angry a lot is we are holding other people's problems. It's not our responsibility to be everybody's savior. We're you don't have to fix everybody's problems. Give people back their problems. We have our own problems. Take care of you first. Pour into yourself. Show up for yourself and do what you need to do. And I'm telling you that it shifts so much. You bring in positive energy when you realize, okay, I need to sleep right now. I need to eat. I need to do this. Taking care of yourself and checking those things off before you deal with other people. And for many people, you're very unbalanced. You just wake up, jump up, do this, and you run out the house. You haven't prepared your mind. You haven't affirmed your worth yet. You haven't poured into yourself. You haven't told yourself how amazing you are and how much you love yourself. And today is going to be a great day. I'm telling you, everything shifts and pivots when you prepare your mind for the day. If you don't prepare your mind, you're going to walk out there without your shield on, without your armor to handle the onslaughts of negativity, drama, and people's foolishness. Okay? Prepare your mind and you'll keep your power. You won't be upset and angry. You have peace and joy. And say because you already started off the day by saying I am enough. Today will be a great day and I love myself. I am a great friend. I'm a good person and I'm going to make good choices today. Every day I wake up, I say that to myself. And I do. And I make good choices. And I don't let angry, immature, controlling, whatever, low vibrational people get to me and cause me to, you know, downward spiral. If you don't protect your peace, if you don't speak up for yourself, if you don't talk to yourself and remind yourself they're not worth it, they're not worth it. But I am. I'm worth it and I need to be around. So I need to keep myself calm. I need to pour into myself. And I need to remind myself and encourage myself and be my own cheerleader. Okay? So that's the topic for today, everybody. Thanks so much for tapping in. I hope there was some message in here that helped somebody. Don't be angry for the rest of your life. What my mom used to say is no fool like an old fool. We're grown. But with that, you're grown, but it's time for us to mature. Okay? Don't you get older, but also add that I got older and wiser. I communicate. I cut off toxicity. I spend time on me. I have peace because I choose to be at peace. Okay? It's a choice, everybody. It's a choice. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Delvin. I appreciate you guys. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will try my best to tap in later. I think later on I'm going to do another loop in chat overnight. So if you guys want to tap in then, I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day. Be positive. Love yourself. Know that you are worth it. I am Life with Marlene, your life coach, motivational speaker, and Florida vlogger. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.